in the West Rand, where it has descended into chaos this morning as hundreds of residents took to the streets to apprehend illegal miners. They're saying that zamas are committing crimes and police are doing nothing about it. Over 100 alleged illegal miners have been arrested over the last few days following those gang rapes in Krugersdorp, you'll remember last week. Our senior reporter, one of our reporters, Nqobile Madlala, is there at the moment and joins us now. You're surrounded by community members. Nqobile, what are they saying?
Yes, because now we're seeing the community has taken over a part where zamas generally work. So I'm going to bring in one of our guests that has been in the forefront right now. We saw you speaking to the community. So can you explain to us where you're coming from and what brings you here?
Yeah, thank you for having us. Yeah, the problem started 2 months ago, and it is one of my friends and it is got attacked by the zamas, and at the moment and it is we're all done with it. We're tired of these guys. They're taking over all over. They're busy hurting everybody. They're raping women. They're raping children. In this same village here, they killed a 15-year-old boy. And one of the community members, they took my phone number, and late at night, and it was about 1 o'clock in the morning, they sent me a message to say, listen, my kids have just been dead. They just shot him right in front of my house. And that's why I'm still here. This happened 2 months ago. For 2 months ago, and it is with Manqoba City, there is the Rights App members. And Dowry, Corrie Security, technical units are here. We all here, there's even a member of the sectors. What's in our communities? We're trying to help everybody. We are fighting this thing for 2 straight months. The ladies who's got raped, it happened kilometers away from us. 1 kilometer. We didn't even know about it. We were busy packing up, and it is, call it a day, and it is busy closing the mines. The mines closing, and it's going on about 3 weeks now. We started it, and we're not going to finish this. This thing is going to get stopped by not but everybody.
But so what do you do at this mine?
Well, catching the zamas, helping the community to be a safer place for them. There's so many, now you came right through the village. Well, through this village and at the Salt City, there's, how many kids did you see on the road? How many ladies did you see on the road? All their men are right here at the moment. All their men are on the streets at the moment. All their men are in the bushes right now, and it is busy looking for these guys to bring them to us, to get the justice. On Shandor Road, and it is, we just got guys there. With this man that we got right now, and it is 49 people at the moment through the community. The community bring them out, and we arrested them. We're working close to Krugersdorp police station. We are working with the right, we are working with close members in Kagiso, and we are working close members in Randfontein. We went to a meeting last night, and that is in Randfontein. We did spoke there, the brigadier was there of Randfontein, and we're really trying our best to resolve this problem, so that these people, what's standing around us, to have a safer life and not to have to stay here in fear.
So what is the plan for today, sir?
I'm not sure. I cannot tell you. When the phone is talking, and it is, that's where we are going to try to ask SAP members, and it is to come out and to come and assist us here. This is one of the biggest problems here. Yesterday we went here, and it is, we were the ones, and it is, who are burning here with Manqoba City members. Zamas was standing here on the ridge line here, on the tree line. They were calling us out. 3 of our members, and it is, we went in until we saw the guys, and it is with the AKs. We don't know how many AKs are there. I'm not saying we are scared, because we are done of scared. We are finished scaring. But we're not going to, I don't want any of these guys to take their lives because of the zamas today. We want to have this operation to be clean. There is choppers in the air, what I saw. I am going to go and talk to the people now and ask them, and it is, please come and assist us so that we can raid this place here in the back, and it is, and get it all done. That is my main goal for today. And we got our members here, the Vice Dowry, and everybody is here. Help 24 is here. So the members are here. We are ready for them. So if they're going to come out of the bushes right now and at this, we are going with them. We're running to them. We're not going to run away.
We heard that they have a lot of ammunition.
I don't know, to be honest with you. We just see the weapons. We don't see the ammunition. The operation the commissioner and everybody had yesterday, and it is, I heard and it is they found ammunition and whatever, and it is, I'm not sure. I cannot tell you. Of that operation. So I cannot tell you.
So you're just going to go in anyways?
That's what we have to do. To keep our community safe, that's what we're going to do.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Well, Rafiwa, that's some of the people that are here. We understand is working with the community in here. Now we are going to follow them and see what they're yet to do. But we understand that the community has asked them to help, like what he says. It has happened.
Very unfortunate situation that citizens are forced to take matters into their own hands, Nqobile, because of a lack of law enforcement in these communities. We'll catch up with you a little bit later on, Nqobile Madlala, along with some of the other reporters that are tending to the scenes that we are seeing unfold at Kagiso. And then still on this developing story, we've got our other reporter, Manqoba Mchunu, who's also on the ground, the chaotic scenes that we've been seeing throughout the morning, and he joins us there for the very latest. Manqoba, we've just been speaking to Nqobile, who spoke to a community member saying that they're no longer waiting for law enforcement to intervene in this dire situation. They are doing it for themselves. They don't want anybody to die, but they want to clean up their communities themselves. What are those people on that side of Kagiso telling you?
Well, similar sentiments here, I can tell you, Rupua, from these residents who are saying that they're sick and tired of inaction by police, and they are now taking matters into their own hands. And just a few minutes ago, Rupua, in fact, we saw some of these residents cornering one of the illegal miners here in this area. So they've been literally going from house to house where they know that there are illegal miners that are staying there. And they have been removing them from those houses and forcing them out of the houses. In fact, just a short while ago, they took one of those illegal zamazamas to the police. We understand that so far, Rupua, there has been about 12 of them here that have been apprehended by community members. We're saying that they're simply not going to wait for police to come here to this situation, because they've been calling on police for numerous months to come and resolve some of their issues, but the police have not been coming. They've not been hearing the cries of the community, and so that's the reason why these community members are saying that enough is enough. They now want to take matters into their own hands. Well, we have been told, Rupua, that they are still continuing with that particular operation, where they are literally going inside Soul City settlement, and they are going to some of the places where the illegal miners usually operate. So that's what is happening here as far as things are concerned. But there was a report just a few minutes ago of, in fact, one of the, a seemingly hostage situation that was taking place here, but that has not been confirmed. But I want to show you there in the far distance, Rupua, you can see one of the houses belonging to illegal miners already burning. It's been set alight by some of the protesters. So we are definitely seeing some elements of criminality also coming into this particular protest. This is the same house, Rupua, I can tell you that, where they had found that a young miner who is from, we understand, from Zimbabwe. In fact, they questioned him as to where he was coming from and why he's here. And I think he gave an answer. He told them he had arrived here in June and that he was simply coming here to seek a better life. And he couldn't go deeper into, the explanation because of the language barrier. He does speak Shona, so he only indicated that he was here to work. And so they eventually took him to the police, Rupua. So this is the situation at this particular point. This is what is happening. We, of course, trying to get to speak to some of the protest leaders just to get a sense of why now are we seeing houses being burnt in this particular area, because they had made it quite clear, Rupua, that they are not going to be, taking matters as far as, beating some of these people up. They were saying that their march will be largely peaceful. And in fact, just a few moments ago, one of the community members pleading with the protesters not to take any matters, not to burn anything, and also not to assault those illegal miners. But it's totally different what we are seeing now. The house that is burning, that is where one of those illegal miners was captured. I'm just trying to see perhaps if we can get any of those leaders here at this particular protest. Baba, the situation is very bad here.
Yeah, it's very bad indeed. Yeah. All we are doing as a community is try to be as organized as possible. Kukhona ama-trends and izinto abazisebenzisayo abantu esibafunayo in a way that it becomes difficult for us ukuthi sikhona ukubathola kahle bonke. Although successfully sesikwazi ukubamba abantu abaningi, we have handed them to the police because some community ibingacontroleki as such because of the anger and the frustration that is there, So basatile babochiwe abaningi. It's just that most of them are the Mozambicans instead of as much as community bifuna the so-called Basotho people who are the perpetrators. But for now, it's young people, and they were about 20-something in number. The number is growing because it's unfortunate. There's one person who died. We don't know the circumstances exactly, but we are trying by all our means.
Okay, I see there's a fire burning. You had said that there's not going to be any violence in this particular protest.
No, we believe a criminal element that is taking its own way. We are not sure exactly. We are trying to be as organized as possible, because what is happening, we are running into all directions. We are like Tina says, we are the mountains, the mine dumps very far from here. And then coming back to us time. So we are still trying to find out what is it exactly that happened. We are not sure what happened, but we will brief in time.
Okay, thank you. Well, that's just one of the community members. They're giving us a sense of what is happening here on the ground. Of course, the situation is quite volatile here. There are quite a number of people, community members, that are still here, that are saying that they're going to continue, trying by their means to get to those houses where illegal miners are and to really get them out of this community.
Sure, we'll catch up with you a little bit later. Manqoba Mchunu, who is following these scenes at Kagiso on the ground anymore. Very, very clear frustration from community members. But on the bottom of your screen there, that is our colleague Aviwe Mtila. And I don't know if he can hear me, but I want us to get a sense of what he's seeing from an aerial view. Yesterday when he spoke to Provincial Commissioner Elias Mawela, he said it's very difficult for police or law enforcement authorities to catch these illegal miners because they understand and know the terrain so well, because they've been there for so long, that when they disappear or they run away into tunnels, it's difficult for police to find them because they don't understand the terrain as well as they do. And of course, they've got tunnels underground, which he explained go for about 10 kilometers. And so that makes the job of law enforcement authorities even more difficult. Aviwe, if you can hear me, what is it that you are seeing from an aerial perspective? We've got the ground view from Nqobile and Manqoba, but tell us what you have found over the last few minutes that you've been flying over the area.
Colleague, the South African Police Service has blocked off a number of roads in and around Kagiso. We're actually seeing at least 6 police vehicles now come to join the police that are on the ground here. But there's still hundreds that are on the ground. Community members in different pockets of the area here. It's much calmer now, but they're still visible nonetheless. But we're also seeing there is a shack that is burning, colleague, and seemingly the community themselves are trying to put it out. It doesn't look like it's a shack that they themselves set alight, given that they're the ones that are now trying to contain that fire, unlike the shack dwellings that we've been seeing for the majority of the morning, where it was at the hands of the community members. As I say, it's much calmer now, but you can see that there are still hundreds of people scattered right around Kagiso, in between the shacks, on the outskirts of the shacks, some of them gathered in their pockets, and they seem like as calm as they are, but you can see there's still quite a lot of tension from even the view that we're showing you. I'm sure my colleague Tamsang Ngachaman is showing you that shack that now the community is trying to put the fire off over there, but not even far from there, some 200 meters or so. The community themselves are gathered in numbers, where also the police are blocking off some of the roads with those police nyalas. But you can see the aerial view of the Kagiso shacks themselves, and further down is where another pocket of at least 100 community members have gathered here. Some of them just watching on, but you can see that they're not going anywhere, even though there is a heavy police deployment that you're seeing on the ground here, colleague.
Yeah, very horrifying scenes that we're seeing there. And the unfortunate thing here, Aviwe, is that these situations have been carrying on for years now. You know, residents have complained about the plight of their needs for safety for years, and nothing has been done. It has taken the brutal rape of 8 young women to wake our law enforcement authorities up. I actually want us to take those visuals that you're seeing on the screen now, community members tearing down informal dwellings of what they assume belong to the illegal miners or zamazamas that have resided over in those areas, pouring, I don't know if it's petrol or some other kind of fuel, fire enhancement liquid that they're pouring over the shack there, burning it to the ground. And that is what they've been doing throughout most of the morning. And then if you just look right next to it, Aviwe's visuals are showing the fire that you can actually see from the aerial shot that is being provided there. Aviwe, if you can still hear me, I just want to get a sense from you. Have you seen a lot of instances of informal dwellings being torn down by community members throughout the morning? We do have visuals right now of one dwelling that is being torn down.
Well, that's been the site, really, colleague, of the majority of the morning, where these zama dwellings have literally been burnt to the ground. It's a site that we also saw yesterday at the hands of the Provincial Police Commissioner, General Elias Mawela, with at least a dozen police on top of one of the old mines there, where they themselves were tearing down and burning down the shack dwellings of the illegal miners, and also taking the material that they use to process the gold, saying that at least it will take them some 3 or so months to set up shop once more, given that they took that material. But that particular shack that you saw now, colleague, it seems to be different from what we've been seeing in the majority of the morning, because this particular shack that you see burned down now is actually one that the community is running around with water trying to put off, and it seems like they've succeeded in putting it off, but of course it is destroyed completely. So they're trying to put that fire out. I'm not sure if it is to safeguard the other shacks that are around from burning. So you'd assume that this particular one wasn't burned down by the community, but the fires that we've been seeing throughout Kagiso in the majority of the morning are at the hands of the community members, saying that they've had enough. And as you rightly mentioned, colleague, they say that they've been terrorized for years, something that the police minister, Peggy Taylor, acknowledges, saying that in speaking to some of these residents around the West Rand area, they've noted how these zamazamas have gone beyond the criminality of the illegal mining itself and gone and terrorized these communities. Police minister mentioned just how they are so brazen as to going as far as knocking door to door from their homes, taking wives away from husbands, and then going on to rape them. As we saw in the early hours of Sunday, that tragic news of the 8 girls that have been raped, I beg your pardon. So there's been a lot of action, even from the police, where we've seen in the past couple of days at least 150 people that have been arrested, the majority of them illegal. We were told by the PC General Elias Mawela that the majority of those are from Mozambique, and a lot of them are actually youngsters, colleague. One of them I remember was 12 years old. So there is also those suspicions of human trafficking that happens, that takes these youngsters from areas such as Maputo in Mozambique, then bring them in illegally in the country, and these bosses, these mine bosses in the illegal world, then let them do their bidding. So the community say that they've had enough, really, as we saw at least a dozen of them been taken to the bush. They were naked, they were being beaten by shamboks, by knobkiris, and really just one of them was even laying unconscious there as the community took the law into their own hands.
Aviwe, I'm going to let you continue to monitor the situation from an aerial point of view. That is senior reporter Aviwe Mtila giving us those visuals of Kagiso, bird's eye view as he called it. And I want to bring in Manqoba Mchunu, who is at the scene of that informal dwelling that is being torn down and burnt by community members in Kagiso. Manqoba, this is probably one of many informal homes that have been torn out throughout the morning. And I still don't see much law enforcement there where you are to stop what's currently happening, because while we want to be safe in our communities, violence in any form should not be condoned or allowed.
Indeed, Rupu, it's quite worrying that we haven't seen quite a lot of police presence, but I guess it speaks to just how volatile this protest is. I can tell you, Rupu, that as far as police are concerned, we have seen quite a few, police vans here in Kagiso this morning, and in fact, there were more protesters than police here. As you can see, Rupu, those protesters right now trying to demolish this house. They're trying to bring it down. Earlier on, they had set it alight, and of course, this is one of the houses where we're told that some of the Zamas are staying there, working from this particular home. And so this is what has been happening throughout the morning, that these protesters would go to those areas or those houses where they know that the Zamas are staying, and then they will try to, in fact, corner them out of the houses before taking them to police. But in this particular instant, we understand that they have taken a decision to actually set it alight and also to ensure that this particular homestead is destroyed. They're saying that they want those people that stay here to be removed. They want them out of this community. And the sentiment that we've been hearing from the protesters here on the ground, you can still see, Rupua, many of them out here on the streets. They're out in their numbers. Of course, they're saying that this situation, at this particular point, they're not leaving it up to police. They want to take matters into their own hands because they simply believe that police are not servicing this particular community. Of course, we have seen quite a number of groups of community members in the different areas that are here. They are going around this particular settlement. They are also going to some of the areas where the illegal mining is happening. We do understand, though, that at this particular point, what you're seeing there, Rupua, some of the protesters that are actually, pouring water over the fire as well as sand, what they're trying to do now is that they're trying to extinguish the fire so that this fire does not affect other informal dwellings here in this particular area. So it is quite a volatile situation. I can tell you that these community members are up in arms. They say that they are fed up with crime in this particular community. I'm going to move. I'm going to ask my colleague Mbudzeni Bulaskoba just to move with me, just so that we can show you what is happening around this community. Of course, community members, Rupua, are everywhere here. We were earlier on Main Reef Road, where we also saw groups of community protesting there. We are seeing young and old coming out in their numbers to try and perhaps put an end to criminality in this community. And Ropoa, they're saying that they're not going to leave here. They're not going to stop their protest up until these issues are resolved. Of course, we have had that, they had met as a community and that they had alerted police, in fact, that this was going to happen. But they're saying that the fact that police are not here to assist them in arresting those that are behind the crimes in this area simply shows that the police are not servicing this community and that the police are failing the people of Kagiso. So those are just some of the sentiments from the community members here, of course, are still on the ground. But as far as the issue of, safety here is concerned, these community members saying that they're not concerned about safety at this stage. All they want to see is for these zama-zamas and the criminality here to be removed, the criminal elements in this community to be removed. I see some movement here this side, some community members are moving in this direction. I don't know why they're moving there, but it seems like they are going back to the streets at this particular point. So, Ropo, I can tell you that this is going to continue because these community members are saying that they're not going to rely on police to do this. This is what they're going to be doing the whole day. They're going to ensure that they do this and that they root out these illegal zama-zamas. We can see just a few police vans here. Some of them, I think it's about 3 of them that I can see from where I am, but many protesters here, Rupua, as you can see here on the ground, and some of them are carrying sticks, some of them are carrying machetes, and they are saying that they want an end to what is happening here. Of course, all of this has been really triggered, but what happened here, not far from here, where there was a rape incident that involved a music crew, and this is what really ignited the anger in this community, which says it has had enough and it wants matters of criminality to be dealt with. Of course, they're not this time leaving it to police, but saying that they are going to continue themselves. As you can see, Lopua, they're now busy here trying to extinguish that fire, but they are saying that they are going to continue with their protest.
Indeed, it looks like they don't look like they're going to be giving up any time soon, Manqoba. And you raised such an important point, which was actually raised by one of our colleagues here in studio, about the fire not falling onto the other informal shacks that are in the area and the safety of the families that reside in those. It's going to be very important to get the relevant authorities to the scene as a matter of urgency, Manqoba, but we'll catch up with you a little bit later